kindergartners, my name is Miss Schlor, and today we are going to be practicing some letters and sounds with our foundations. You may have used this in your classroom and done some of these activities, and so you'll be able to follow along with me as I am teaching you. Some things that you might want to grab so you can follow along are a pencil and a piece of paper. You can use your phonics journal if you brought that home, or just a blank piece of paper or one with lines. It doesn't matter as long as you have something that you can write on. And we are going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing that we are going to do is I have our letters right here, and I am going to say the letter, and then I'm going to point at you, and you are going to repeat after me. So I'll say them nice and slow, and you can copy me after I say it. C, cat. W, wind. Wa. L, lamp. O. T, top. T. M, man. O, octopus. Ah. U, up. Ah. I, itch. I. A, apple. Ah. E, ed. Eh. And that is all of the letters that we are going to do today. I hope that you follow along, and every time I pointed at you guys, you said it along with me. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to practice sky writing. So remember, in your classroom, you would stand up nice and tall and you would point to the board. I have our board here today, and remember, we have different lines on our pages, and that tells us where we are going to form our letters. So remember, at the very top, we have our sky line. In the middle, the dotted line, we have our plain line. And then at the very bottom, we have our grass line. And then at the very, very bottom below the grass, we have our worm line. So to practice, I'm going to kind of stand sideways, and I'm going to point with you. And I'm going to say a line, and I want you to try and point to that line as fast as you can with a super straight arm and stand really tall. And remember, we use 2 fingers to point to our line. So I'll say it, and then I want you to point with me. We are going to point to the skyline. So remember, we want to point way up so we can tell that you're not pointing in the middle, but you're pointing up to the sky. Point to the worm line. So you're going to point all the way down to the bottom. Remember, we don't want to be in the middle somewhere, because then it's hard to tell if you're pointing to the grass or the worm. So we're going to point down to the worm. Point to the plain line. So our arms want to be super straight, pointing right to the middle, and point to the grass line. And we are somewhere in the middle pointing at the grass line. So let's do that again. I'm going to mix them up, so make sure you pay really close attention to what line I'm telling you to point to. So here we go. Point to the grass line. Point to the sky line. Point to the worm line. And point to the plain line. Awesome job. I want you to shake your arms out. I know it's a lot of hard work pointing to all of those lines. Let's do it one more time, but we're going to do it a little speedy this time. So make sure you listen really closely. Here we go. Point to the skyline. Point to the worm line. Point to the plain line. Point to the grass line. Awesome job, my friends. I hope you guys were able to follow along. Now that we remember where all of our lines are, we're going to practice writing these letters that we just practiced. We're not going to do any of the vowels. So remember, vowels are the red ones. We're only going to do the yellow ones that we practiced today. And I have my handy dandy cards right here that are going to help me be able to remember where all of the placement goes for our writing. So here we go. The first one we are going to do is the T, top. I'm going to put it right here so we know what letter we're working on. Then I'm going to first say it out loud so we know what to expect. Then I'm going to write it on the board, and you can watch and you can write with me with your pencil and paper. And then we're going to take our arms that we practiced so hard with, and we are going to skywrite our letters. So remember, first I say, then I write, and you can write with me. Then we skywrite. Okay, so here we go. The first letter we're going to do is T, top. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, cross it on the plane line. T, top. So now I'm going to write it, and if you have your pencil and paper, go ahead and write it with me. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, and cross it at the plane line. T, top, t. And you can go ahead and repeat after me. So now we're going to take our super straight arms. I'm going to turn to the side. And remember, try and remember where all of those different lines are. So here we go. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line, cross it at the plane line. T, top, t. Awesome job, my friends. I'm going to take my eraser and erase that T and put it back down here. And the next one we are going to do is the letter M. So let me find it here. We'll put it right there so we can remember what letter we are working. I'm going to say, then we write, and then we use our arms to skywrite it. So here we go. Listen first. Point to the plane line, go down to the grass line, trace back up to the plane line and make a hump. Then back up to the plane line and make another hump. M, man, So here we go. Take your pencil and go ahead and write it with me. Listen and try and say along if you can. Point to the plane line, go down to the grass line, trace back up to the plane line and make a hump. Then go back up to the plane line and make another hump. M, man, Awesome job, my friends. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to use our arms to skywrite it. Shake out those arms so we can get ready. And here we go. I'm going to turn to the side and go ahead and say it and do it with me. Point to the plane line, go down to the grass line, trace back up to the plane line and make a hump. Go back up to the plane line and make another hump. M, man, Awesome job, my friends. I'm going to grab my eraser and we are going to erase that letter M and move on to a next letter that we will do. The next one that we're going to do is the letter L. So I'm going to say it first. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line and stop. L, lamp, O. So here we go. Take your pencil and go ahead and get ready to write with me. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line and stop. L, lamp, O. Awesome job, my friends. Let's take our arms super straight. Point to the skyline, go down to the grass line. L, lamp, O. Great job, my friends. I'm going to erase that and we are going to move on to our next letter. The next letter we are going to do is the letter K, and I'm going to say it first. Point to the skyline, go all the way down to the grass line, point to the plane line and leave a space, slide over and touch your tall line, and slide back to the grass line. Okay, my friends, the next letter we are going to do is the letter C. So I'm going to say it first, and you're going to listen. Point to the plane line, start to fly backwards and go down and around the grass line. C, cat, k. Awesome job. Take your pens and let's go ahead, pens or pencils, and let's go ahead and write it. Point to the plane line, start to fly back on the plane line and go down and around the grass line. C, cat. Awesome job. Let's go ahead and take our super straight arms and we're going to start at the plane line. Fly back on the plane line and down and around to the grass line. C, cat. Awesome job. We are going to erase that letter and we're going to move on to our last letter, which is the letter W. So listen first and then we will write it together. Point to the plane line, slide down to the grass line, slide up to the plane line, slide down to the grass line, slide up to the plane line. W, wind, W. Awesome job. Take your pencil and go ahead and write it with me. Point to the plane line, slide down to the grass line, slide up to the plane line, slide down to the grass line, and slide back up to the plane line. W, wind, W. Great job. Shake out the arm. One last one. I know you can do it. Super straight. We're going to start at the plane line. Point to the plane line. Slide to the grass line. Slide to the plane line. Slide to the grass line. And slide back up to the plane line. W, wind, W. Awesome job, my friends. Let's go ahead and shake out those arms. I know we are super tired from that. That was a lot of work. Okay, my friends, we are going to take a quick break right now. I am going to say a sound, and I want you to point to the part of your body that starts with that sound. So if I said the sound you would point to maybe your mouth, okay? For mouth. They start with the same sound. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to say the sound, and you're going to use your body and your arms to point to what part of your body it is. So here we go. The first sound is The part of our body that I was thinking of that starts with the sound is our nose. Awesome job. The next sound I'm thinking of is your B sound. Can you think of something that starts with the B sound? The part of my body I was thinking of was my belly. Belly. Belly starts with the B sound. We're going to do one more, and the sound I am thinking of is the sh sound. The part of my body that I was thinking of was my shoulders. Shoulders starts with the sh sound. Awesome job, my friends. We have one more activity that we are going to do for the day. And what we are going to do is I'm going to create a 3-letter word that, with these letters, that we are going to tap out with our fingers and try and stretch and sound it out to see if we could read them. So I'm going to move my letters and then we will do it together. And I will let you try it first and then we will do it together. So here we go. Our first word starts with the letter M, then the letter O, and finally the letter M-O, and finally the letter P. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then next time I'm going to let you try it first, and then we'll do it together. So here we go. I'm going to point and tap with my fingers. So remember, I have my hand out like a high five, and I use my fingers, and I tap my thumb for each sound, and then we blend it together to try and read it. So here we go. Mop. Ooh, our word was mop. So I'm going to put these letters back, and then you are going to try the next one on your own, and then we will do it together. So here we go. I'm going to point, and you can tap on your own. See if you can think of what word it is, and then we'll do it together. Okay, think in your head, what do you think it is? And now let's do it together. Lad. Lad. Lad is our word. Awesome job, my friends. We are going to do 3 more. So I'm going to put these letters back. And now we are going to do this. Think in your head as I'm putting them up. Then you will get a chance to do it on your own. Then we will do it together. Here we go. Think of what you think that word is. Okay, now let's do it together. Dot. Ooh, our word was dot. Awesome job, my friends. 2 more words to go. The next one, ooh, this one is a color word. This says a color, so I'm going to let you do it first. And now let's do it together. Let's see if you figured out what it says. Red. Red. Ooh, our word was red. Red is a color. Awesome job. We're going to do one last one. And our last one is part of our body. Okay, here we go. I'm going to let you do it first. Ooh, what do you think it is? Okay, now let's do it together. Hip. Our word was hip. Awesome job, my friends. That is all of the activities that we have today. If you would like to continue to do things at home with our phonics, something that you could do is you could create some words on your own. So maybe you could choose 3 letters and see if you can make a word with it. Maybe you choose red as your word. Maybe you choose man as your word. Maybe you choose cat as your word. And then you could practice writing those. Tomorrow, instead of stretching them out, we are going to write them on our own so you can practice that today and then see if you can do it tomorrow with me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in our video tomorrow. Bye!
Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Zhang and I am a kindergarten teacher at Silver Lake Elementary here in Federal Way. I am here to teach some mini kindergarten math lessons with you all. So kindergartners, you really don't need anything right now. I just want you to sit and follow along with me. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to read this book with you all. This is called Count to 10 with a Mouse. So just like it says, we're going to count to 10 and I want you to count with me, okay? So, and with the mouse. So we're going to be counting with each other and with our friend right here. All right. So I'm going to put the book down and then share. So then I can read and you can see at the same time. All right. So we have, oops, there we go. We have Count to 10 with a mouse. And it is by, the author is Margaret Wise Brown. And then our illustrator, it says illustrated by Kristen Richards. So follow along with me and the mouse as we count. All right. There was a little mouse. Let me see, 1 second. I can change the lighting a little bit. No bigger than a mole, who lives in a round place that he called a hole. He tried to count his nose. He tried to count his toes. Wiggle your toes with me if you can. I'm trying to wiggle mine. All right. He said, I'd better learn to count. And so the story goes. One mouse took one look at one book that had one hole to run through. Kind of like he's in the book that we're reading right now. 2 holes. Then the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. So look how many holes he created in order to run through it. All right, we just read 2 holes. What number comes next? 3. 3 fish. And there, what does he see? And there, what does he see? 3 little fishes swimming in the sea. Then the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. I wonder what number comes next. What number comes after 3? He counted 4 monkeys. And there, what does he see? And there, what does he see? 4 little monkeys swinging in a tree. Then the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. Excuse me. All right, do you see the 4 monkeys? I see them. Next, we have 5 butterflies. And here, great sakes alive. And here, great sakes alive. Here he found 5 butterflies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. All right, so we just saw 5 butterflies. I wonder what we're going to see next and how many do you think? 6. 6 pussycats, and in among the mix, 6 little pussycats are all in a 6. So the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. So you can see all 6 cats in this picture. Now we have 7 apples. And there, what does he see? And there, what does he see? 7 little apples upon an apple tree. Then the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. I think the first time I saw these, I thought they looked like peaches instead of apples. So yep, there's 7 of them. After 7, we have 8. 8 crows. And here is what he saw. And here is what he saw. 8 shiny black crows learning how to caw. Caw is like the sound the birds make, or specifically the crows make. Then the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. Number do we have next? 9. 9 o'clock. Here everything is fine. The clock has just struck 9. 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock. And everything is fine. Oh, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. Then dockery hickory dock, the mouse ran down the clock. Then the mouse ran through the book. The mouse ran through the book. He ran onto the next page to take a little look. After 9 comes, and when he got to 10, he turned around the other way and ran right back again. All right, and then he has his numbers at the top. Count them with me, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The end. All right, nice job. I hope you enjoyed that book a little bit. It's been a little fun one to incorporate math and reading, I think. All right, so now we're going to move on into our learning target for today. I know many of you are familiar, especially if you're in Federal Way, with our learning target. So give me 1 second. All right, so here's our learning target. Read it along with me. It says learning target. Students will be able to understand addition and model it. So we have our focus today. Our big focus is addition, and then we're going to be practicing modeling it with manipulatives or your fingers. I think it's a great way and a great tool for you to use when you're doing addition. All right, so I'm going to prep my little station for us to model addition. I need some math blocks. All right, so let's model some addition. Oh, actually, before I begin that, I want to do a little reminder of what addition is. Addition is all about bringing things together, or what I like to explain is bringing things together. So whenever I say addition, I use my hands and I go like this. So do it with me, addition. And if you notice what I'm doing with my hands, I'm bringing my hands together. And that's kind of what you're going to be doing when it comes to addition. You're going to be bringing things together and then counting them as a total. All right, so let's see. All right, so I have some cubes here. I have some blue ones and I have some green ones. I forgot that color for a second. All right, so let's count. How many blue cubes do I have? 1, count them with me. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to write 3 right here. 3. And then how many green cubes do I have? Count them with me. 1, 2. I have 2 green cubes. Let's actually stack them together. So we have our 3 green cubes right there, or excuse me, our 3 blue cubes and our 2 green cubes. And remember what I said, addition is all about bringing them together. So if I wanted to know what 3 and 2 together is, and this right here, in order to model addition, you usually, this is called a plus sign. Okay, so 3 plus 2, let's figure it out. What is 3 plus 2? And let's bring them together. So if I connect them, how many do I have all together now? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what does 3 plus 2 equal? 5. So we have a total of 5 when it comes to adding 3 plus 2. All right, let's do a different one. I'm going to erase my board. Should be a little bit neater, huh? All right, this time I want you to do it yourself, okay? So I have some green cubes there, and then I'm gonna have some yellow cubes. So see if you can come up with an equation. Remember, an equation was kind of like this. Blank plus blank equals blank, okay? So remember, the first thing you're gonna have to do is count how many green cubes you have and how many yellow cubes you have. I'll give you some time to do that. All right, so let's start. I have 1, and then yeah, see if you got this correct, okay? I had the same answers as me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I counted 4 green cubes. And then I'm adding, remember this plus sign, this symbol right here means I'm putting them together. I'm doing addition, bringing things together. 1, 2, I have 2 yellow ones. All right, and then let's put them together to figure out how many we have total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 cubes total. So let's read our equation. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Nice job. All right, let's see. I think we have time for one more. I'm gonna pick some red cubes this time. My favorite color is actually red, if you didn't know. I think I told my class that a couple times because we would always ask what our favorite colors was. All right, so I didn't grip them together, so maybe I thought maybe it might be easier to see if they're not grouped together. All right, so I have some red cubes, and then I have some of these light blue cubes. All right, and again, think about the equation. Blank plus blank equals blank. So what plus what equals what? Give you some time to count them. All right, so we have, let's count. I'm gonna put them together while I count. 1, 2, 3. 3 red cubes, red blocks. I'm gonna put a 3 down here. And then how many blue blocks? Let's do the same thing. 1, 2, oops, those don't like to stick together very well. 3. I also have 3 blue blocks. And then again, what does this symbol mean for us to do? Addition, so put them together. So let's combine our blocks, and now we have a new total, so now we need to count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my answer is 6. So let's read our equation. 3 plus 3 equals 6. Nice job. All right, the last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to show another way to model addition. Maybe you don't have some math cubes, probably not. So I wanted to show you could also do it with your fingers. So our equation was 3 plus 3 equals 6. So we're going to read our first number. Our first number was 3, so I'm going to put 3 fingers on one of my hands. And then we're doing addition, so we're going to be putting things together. My next number was 3, so I need to count 3 more fingers. I'm going to use my other hand. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. I have 3 plus 3. So what I need to do with addition, put them together. How many fingers do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's another way you can model addition using your fingers. You don't have any manipulatives, which you might not. All right, everyone, thank you for watching today. I hope to see you tomorrow as we continue practicing addition. Bye, everyone.
niños, ¿cómo están? Yo estoy muy bien y muy feliz de poder compartir con ustedes durante este verano nuestras clases de matemáticas. Vamos a comenzar con lo más importante, poder conocernos. ¿Ok? Mi nombre es señora Dinamarca y a mí me encanta aprender matemáticas, enseñar matemáticas y amo leer. ¿Qué les gusta hacer a ustedes? Cuéntame algo. A ver. Oh, ¿les gusta jugar afuera? A mí también. ¿Andar en bicicleta? Qué entretenido, a mí igual. Ir al parque, nadar, jugar con los primos, excelente. Parece que vamos a ser buenos amigos, ¿ok? Vamos a comenzar el día de hoy con nuestra meta de aprendizaje, porque vamos a trabajar en matemáticas durante 4 días a la semana, lunes, martes, miércoles y jueves, ¿ok? Nuestra meta para el día de hoy será, estamos aprendiendo a representar la suma con objetos, dedos, sonidos y ecuaciones numéricas, ¿ok? Vamos a usar objetos para poder sumar. Oh, pero ¿qué significa sumar? ¿Alguien sabe? Sumar es cuando juntamos o unimos distintos objetos y los contamos todos juntos. ¿Ok? ¿Cómo vamos a lograr este éxito? Cuando podamos elegir una de las estrategias que ustedes quieran para lograr una suma. Y cada vez que me escuchen decir la palabra sumar, yo voy a decir sumar y ustedes van a contestar todos juntos. Sumar es juntar. ¿Listos? Una vez más. Sumar es juntar. ¡Excelente! Vamos a comenzar. Lo primero que vamos a hacer en el día de hoy, chicos, es comenzar con nuestro calendario. ¿En qué mes estamos? ¿Alguien sabe? Estamos en el mes de julio. ¿Qué sucede en el mes de julio? ¿Hace frío? ¿Hace calor? ¿Qué creen ustedes? Yo siento que hace calor aquí. Estamos en verano, uno de los meses y las estaciones del año que más me gusta. Vamos a ver, ¿qué día será hoy? Yo sé que hoy es día lunes. Hoy es lunes. Si hoy es lunes, ¿qué día habrá sido ayer? Ayer fue domingo. Excelente. Ayer fue domingo. Hoy es lunes. ¿Qué día será mañana? Vamos a ir. Un día más es martes. Excelente. Ayer fue domingo 5 de julio. Si ayer fue domingo 5 de julio, ¿qué día será hoy? Tenemos que agregarle un día más, ¿cierto? 5, le vamos a agregar domingo, un día más es lunes. Si ayer era 5, un día más será, ¿qué día será? Veamos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hoy es 6, lunes 6 de julio. Pero además vemos que hay un patrón, miren. Pez, cangrejo, delfín, pez, cangrejo. ¿Cuál pondremos después para seguir este patrón, para seguir esta secuencia? Pez, cangrejo, delfín. Pez, cangrejo, pez. No, parece que no. Otra vez. Pez, cangrejo, delfín. Pez, cangrejo, delfín. Parece que ese suena bastante bien. ¿Qué les parece? Veamos. Lo ponemos ahí. Y ahora, pez, cangrejo, delfín. Pez, cangrejo, delfín. ¿Qué iremos a poner mañana, chicos? Piénsenlo y lo dejamos para mañana, ¿ok? No olviden que además estamos en el año 2020. Después de nuestro calendario, vamos a comenzar a aprender matemáticas, ¿ok? Vamos a recordar un poquito nuestra meta. Dijimos que nuestra meta era aprender a representar la suma, ¿cierto? Con objetos, dedos, sonidos y o ecuaciones numéricas. Lo que ustedes van a poder hacer al final de esta lección es elegir una estrategia para poder sumar. ¿Sumar? ¿Recuerdan? Sumar es juntar. Sumar es juntar. ¿Listos? Excelente. Vamos a ver. Lo primero que vamos a hacer ahora es desarrollar algunos ejercicios. Vemos los números, nos está diciendo 2 más. ¿Alguien sabe lo que significa esto? Más. ¿Qué significa el signo más? Adivinen. Sumar es juntar. Por lo tanto, lo que nos están diciendo es sumar dos objetos. Vamos a usar estas ricas y deliciosas fresas. ¿Y cuántas tenemos que poner? Díganme ustedes, ¿cuántas? Sí, 2 fresas, 1 y 2. Más, que ya sabemos lo que significa, sumar es juntar. Entonces la vamos a juntar con ¿cuántas fresas más? Aquí está el número y nos dice una fresa más. Aquí está una más. Y nos está diciendo que las juntemos. Vamos a ponerlas todas juntas aquí. Y ahora hacen un solo conjunto. Veamos, y ahora las contamos porque nos están diciendo que las juntemos y las volvamos a contar. Una fresa, 1, 2, 3. Por lo tanto, 2 más 1 es igual a 3. Excelente, niños. Veamos la siguiente. Me da mucha sed cuando veo estas naranjas. Ya me imagino un rico jugo de naranja, ¿cierto? ¿Cuántas naranjas tenemos que poner acá? Acá está nuestro número y nos dice 3. Okay, ayúdenme a contar. ¿Listos? 1, 2 y 3 naranjas. Excelente. Volvemos a ver el mismo signo. El signo más. ¿Qué significará el signo más? Sumar, que es juntar. Excelente. Y nos está pidiendo que lo juntemos con ¿cuántas naranjas? Miren acá. ¿Qué número es este? Muy bien, número 2. Por lo tanto, necesitamos 2 naranjas. 1, 2 naranjas más. ¿Qué tenemos que hacer ahora? Juntarlas para poder saber cuántas hay en total. Vamos a hacer un conjunto de naranjas y las vamos a contar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 naranjas en total. Entonces decimos 3 más 2 es igual a, con mi lápiz mágico voy a escribir 5. Excelente. Y ahora uno más, con nuestras ricas y deliciosas peras. Nuestro primer número es el 1. 1 más 4 peras es igual a. Vamos a poner nuestras frutas que hoy las estamos ocupando como nuestros objetos para poder sumar. Una pera más 4 peras. Cuenten conmigo. 1, 2, le vamos a correr un poquito. 2, 3 y la última pera, 4. Y como dice nuestra palabra del día, sumar es juntar. Así que las vamos a juntar todas en un solo conjunto. ¿Y qué hacemos ahora? Las contamos otra vez. ¿Listos? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excelente. Así que ahora vamos a escribir nuestro resultado. 1 más 4 es igual a 5. Muy bien, chicos y chicas. Ahora vamos a seguir desarrollando otras sumas. Pero ahora, ¿qué vamos a hacer? En vez de utilizar nuestros objetos, vamos a utilizar nuestros dedos. ¿Están listos? La primera dice 2 más 2. Por lo tanto, ¿qué voy a hacer? 2 dedos más otros 2 dedos. Y como dice nuestra palabra, sumar es juntar. 2 dedos más 2 dedos y los voy a juntar. Y ahora contamos. ¿Listos? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excelente. Vamos a escribir nuestro número 4 aquí. Esa es la respuesta. ¿Listos para el siguiente? Ok. Nuestro primer número dice 3. 3. Vamos a poner 3 deditos. 1, 2 y 3. Más 0. ¿Cómo puedo poner 0 dedos? 0. No tengo ninguno. ¿Listos? Y ahora juntamos y sumamos. 1, 2, 3. 3 más 0 es igual a 3 solamente. Y el último sería 4 más 1 es igual a 4 deditos. 1, 2, 3, 4 deditos más 1. ¿Qué tenemos que hacer? Díganme ustedes. Sumar es juntar. ¿Listos? 4 y 1. ¿Cuántos hacen? 1, 2, 3, 4 y 5. Excelente. Nuestro lápiz mágico escribe el número 5. Ok. Y ahora vamos a conectar lo que ya hemos aprendido. ¿Están listos? Vamos a contar cuántos perritos hay en este lado de este conjunto y cuántos hay acá. Y vamos a ver con qué ecuación numérica los vamos a juntar para que estén correctos. ¿Listos? Veamos. 1, 2 más 1, 2. ¿Cuánto será? ¿Cuál de estas será? ¿3 más 2, 4 más 1 o 2 más 2? Díganme ustedes. ¿Esta o esta? Quizás esta. Más fuerte. Excelente. Si juntamos estos dos perritos y estos dos perritos, va a ser 2 más 2 igual que esta ecuación numérica. Recuerden, sumar es juntar. Tenemos que juntar y ver que tenga los mismos números que esta de acá abajo. La siguiente dice 1, 2, 3 perritos más este otro perrito tan lindo, 1, 2. Por lo tanto, me está diciendo 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, los junto con 2 de acá. 3 más 2. ¿Será esta o esta? Excelente. 3 más 2. Y ya sabemos, es la última que nos queda, pero vamos a verificar de todas formas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Acá tenemos 4 y más un cachorrito son 5. 4 más 1. Excelente, niños. Niñas y niños, lo sé, hemos llegado al final de nuestra lección, pero nos vamos a volver a ver mañana. Hoy hemos aprendido a representar la suma con objetos, con los dedos, con sonidos y con ecuaciones numéricas. Creo que ya todos han logrado sumar. ¿Sumar? Sumar es juntar. ¡Excelente! Contando objetos, utilizando los dedos y ocupando una ecuación numérica. Mañana seguiremos con nuestra lección número 2, donde vamos a estar aprendiendo más sumas, pero hasta el número 10. Así que quiero que vayan a casa, practiquen con su hermano, su hermana, con los padres y nos vemos mañana. Adiós.